A 59-year-old man gunned down while walking home nearly 9 years ago. He was only a half-mile from his home.
Yeah, Johnny-Hymon was well known on Savannah's west side. Family members are afraid that his killer got away with murder. WJCL's Rob Macko has more in part 3 of Coastal Cold Cases. Rob?
Well, guys, after 9 years, some people living near the crime scene have died. Others have moved away. Plus, memories fade. Now, all of those things make it tougher for investigators to solve this case.
We'll never forget it. Never.
I don't like to talk about it. I don't like to talk about death no way. Not at that stage of how he got killed.
Bernice Ford and Joe Hyman have fond memories of their baby brother, Johnny Hyman. The 59-year-old was murdered on August 20th, 2005, around 2 a.m. while walking home with a friend. A neighbor reported hearing 3 gunshots. At the time, police said it looked like an attempted armed robbery.
Hyman was shot and killed here at the corner of Richards and Sudgen Streets on Savannah's west side. Nearly 9 years have passed and police still have very few answers.
The lack of answers only adds to the family's pain.
They didn't give us no more details. Every time I call them, they tell me they're still on the case.
Detective Sergeant Andre Jackson, the head of Metro Police's homicide unit, says investigators touch base with the family about every 6 months. He says it's tough telling them there's nothing new to report.
All the leads that we were investigating in that case have kind of exhausted.
We're looking into it. That's all, looking into it. They've been looking a long time, 10 years ago.
Johnny's friends called him Jumpin' Jack. He'd worked for an electric company in New York for about 20 years before returning home to Savannah. He had a door-to-door car wash business here and was well known on the west side.
He said he was the best detailer in town. What? That was him.
Johnny was an easygoing person, very easygoing. He would do a favor for anybody. You ask him and he'll do it.
Bernice Ford says the friend Johnny was walking home with told her 3 men approached them. They started talking and one guy asked for a cigarette. Johnny said he didn't have one.
And when he walked off, he told me that this fellow told him to walk off from him and start shooting.
Early on, police had a person of interest, but still don't have enough to make an arrest.
That person was located and interviewed in reference to that case, but still we're looking for other information.
Some who lived in the neighborhood where the murder happened have died. Others have moved away. But investigators say people know something, and they need to come forward.
Don't care how little it is. It might be little to them, but it might be very important to bringing this case to some kind of conclusion.
If anybody knows anything, just think about if it was their family, you know, in the same situation, they would like to know something.
Although it's 9 years, but it will close a wound in our heart.
We had no idea when we planned this story, but today would have been Johnny Hyman's 68th birthday. Now, his wife Dolores died 2 years ago. His brother and his sister say that it was hard for her not knowing who killed him. Now, police want you to call Crime Stoppers if you have any information about this or the other cases that we've profiled this week. Rebecca Foley and Dante Swan. Kevin and Jennifer.
And as she said, solving this would close a wound in her heart.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, hopefully your stories have made a difference. Thank you, Rob.
Sure.